everyone, and welcome to another episode of Storytime with the Scariest Podcast.
Yeehaw!
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw.
That makes more sense. I'm Robin Grace, and this is Adam Diaz.
Hello.
And he has a new mustache today.
I do. I don't know what came over me yesterday, but I decided that I want to grow out my hillbilly mustache a little bit. I won't be doing that accent the entire show. But yeah, I did shave down into a nice mustache with a little bit of a soul patch to drive Robin nuts. And I decided I was going to keep it until the show. So you're welcome, everyone who watches live at youtube.com/scarish and twitch.tv/scarish podcast every Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You are here because we're going to record Storytime, where we read your homegrown horrors. Robin, what's a homegrown horror?
Homegrown horrors are the paranormal, supernatural, horrifying nightmares, night terror things, experiences that you folks have had that you are gracious enough to share with us, and then we get to share them with the rest of our spooky friends.
Indeed. And if you have a story like that you would like to send to us, please don't hesitate. Email storytime@scarish.com or go to our website, scarish.com, and click on Contact Us, fill out that form, and send it our way. We'd be happy to read it. Let us know as well if you would like us to read it on the air, because if you don't let us know, we might not read it because we're not sure, and if it's something that's private or seems private, we like to err on the side of caution. A lot of you have followed up later and been like, you know what, I sent something before, you can read that. It's totally cool, and we do appreciate that. You can hit us up on any of our social medias as well. We have Facebook, which is facebook.com/scarishpodcast. Our Instagram is @scarishpodcast, and our Twitter is @scarishpod. And we get a lot of contact from you folks on that, especially the Insta lately. You guys are all over us on Insta, and we appreciate it. If you haven't followed us there, you're kind of a jerk. If you have Instagram, that is. If you don't have Instagram, no big deal. But go to @scarishpodcast and follow us. I think we're at like 750. We're pushing 1,000 on a lot of our stuff right now, and 1,000's a big number for various different reasons, and we'd really like to get there. So if you haven't followed us on our social media platforms, please do. All right, so we are going to have a supersized Storytime episode this week because last week we reread some emails that had been sent to us previously. That is kind of everyone's fault, but let's blame the English language because the words read and the words read are spelled the exact same way. That's kind of the reason that this whole thing went down. But we have 8. We're going to do 4 each, and I've been told that they're pretty good. So I'm kind of excited about that. We will still take breaks to see what you folks had to say over there in the stream chat while we're recording live, so that'll be really fun. And I think I'm going to go ahead and read the first one, if I'm not mistaken. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, you go, girl.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and jump into the first one, like I just said. This one starts out like this. The subject is new story, and the first word is woo! So I still got my woo in because I did my yeehaw earlier. And it starts out, hey, Adam and Robin.
Hey.
Hello. Taylor here, smiley face. Hello, Taylor, smiley face. I hope that emoji is part of your actual name.
Did you hear about the person who had the the driver's license, where when they applied for their driver's license at 16, their signature was drawing 3 cat faces?
Oh, yeah, I heard about this.
And so legally, on all their legal documents that they had down the line, he had to draw 3 cat faces.
Yeah, and the reason that he started complaining about it was because he bought a house.
Yeah.
So he had to sign his name over and over and over, and it's 3 cat faces where they're like, it has to be 3 cat faces, or else you're not going to get the house. It's so funny. All right. So the story goes on, or it begins, because we really haven't gotten into it yet. So a while ago, I sent a story about a pair of creepy eyes in my closet. Something interesting about that house is that it had a pool I like to swim in. Unfortunately, every once in a while when I was sitting on my deck, I swore I could see something swimming in the deep end. One day, I was in my swimming suit on the deck and I saw the thing in the pool again. So in a feat of stupidity/bravery, I decided to jump in the pool to take a closer look. When the bubbles had cleared up slightly, I looked around and saw this weird shadowy thing at the bottom of the pool. I rubbed my eyes, and when I looked back at where it was gone. I quickly got out of the pool thinking there was something wrong. Later on, I would start to see shadow things out of the corner of my eye that were following me around. My family has since moved away from that house and moved back into the house I've lived in for most of my childhood, but I still see the shadows out of the corner of my eye sometimes. I'm so glad I found you guys, and I can't wait to see more of what you guys have to give. At the moment, I'm on episode 13 of the Storytime episodes, and it really makes me feel better knowing I'm not the only one who's seen some messed up stuff happen to them. Anyways, hope you all have a great day, and keep on creeping on. Thank you for sending that in.
Thank you.
I will say, shout out to Clearly Spooks, who just followed us over on Twitch. Also, shout out to Stab and Stitch, who resubscribed for the 3rd month. Says, love you guys. Keep up the amazing work you both do with 3 hearts.
Thank you so much.
it's kind of a bonehead move to jump into a pool that you think you see something swimming around in.
Especially if you think it's a bagul.
Yeah, I don't... Well, yeah, I guess. Bagul lives in pictures, but still.
No, well, in the first movie, right? In the first movie, there's a picture or a video of the pool, and they're like, what is that? There's like a shadow thing in the pool.
Bagul's
and then he jumps
underneath the water?
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be Dustin Hoffman sitting down there, like, contemplating life. That's another reference to The Graduate, which you have never seen. So, fun stuff. But yeah, if you see something spooky, I totally understand. Maybe I'll investigate that. But there's got to be a better way. Like, if you have a younger sibling, you probably should have thrown them in and been like, what do you see? Because then they'd probably be writing us the email, though. But either way, we appreciate you sending that in.
So I'm going to get into my first email of the night.
All right.
And did you say that, like, in a Canadian accent?
No, did it come out in a Canadian accent?
Okay, anyway,
Goddamn Letterkenny, man.
This goes, hi, Robin and Adam. Hello. I'm finally totally caught up on all the episodes, and I had to find other podcasts to fill the days between you two.
Other podcasts are the worst.
I feel like I'm cheating on you by listening to other horror/comedy podcasts. That's cute.
That is cute.
But it's okay.
I will say, check out My Dear Queer. We are doing a crossover with them again this year, as long as they accept the stuff we sent them.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if it was good or not, and it definitely came in late. But let's cross our fingers
fun,
and
though.
hope. Yeah, it's going to be a fun episode for them.
The email continues. I have a few stories and a really fucked up joke. Okay. The first story's about Typhoid Mary, apparently. Last month, I had a barbecue with family, and it was after I had listened to the Typhoid Mary episode. I don't know how this happened, but somebody started talking about eating ass.
Wow.
Hashtag don't eat ass,
Hashtag
people.
don't eat ass.
I was a little, maybe a lot drunk and yelled out, no, don't do it. That's how you get typhoid.
Yes.
Oddly enough, that made everybody stare at me, so I had to tell them all about Mary. That's funny. That's pretty good.
That is good.
That's a good, extension of us in the real world.
I like that you put all about Mary as well. It's a pretty good shout out right there. Pretty good reference.
I've never watched it.
You suck so bad. Oh my God.
The second one is creepy ass boyfriend. I don't really sleep in, so on Saturdays, I'm awake by 8. A few weeks ago, I'm awake and just playing on my phone while my boyfriend Todd slept. He sat up, looked at me, and said, kill them all, and then very calmly laid back down and continued sleeping.
Kick him out of the bed.
He's possessed.
Kick him out of the bed.
Yep.
You're sleeping on the fucking couch. Tell the couch to kill them.
I mean, even on the couch, I'd just be like, I'm sorry, but I think we need to break up now. It's pretty fucking creepy.
Wow.
Okay, not really, but if you woke up in the middle of the night and said that, I would beat you.
I usually wake up in the middle of the night apologizing
scared.
for whatever noises erupted from my body in the middle of the night.
No, I'll have to wake him up and be like, holy shit, did you just fart? And then he sleepily just goes,
I wake up and I apologize for the noise that just came out of my body. So it's exactly what I said. But yeah, that does happen. And it's not like I can control it. I'm sleeping and my body's like, I just imagine it's like a scene in like a submarine where it's like, the pressure's too high. Like, we gotta do something. And they open the emergency hatch and it's like,
oh my God. Anyway.
Like, ah.
Okay, the last story here is, you don't even know them. So Todd and I were planning a weekend trip together and we couldn't decide where we wanted to go. I'm a planner, so not knowing was stressing me out. I had a dream that we were going to Vegas and he somehow worked it out that we'd be staying with you guys. Oh, that's really cute. We were on the way to Vegas and I was sitting in the car pouting and being really pissy. He asked me why I was acting like a child and I exclaimed, you don't even listen to their podcast. How did you even set this up? You don't even know them. I don't remember how the dream ended, but it made him laugh when I told him the next day.
It's funny.
Those are all my stories for now. I will, of course, check in with more. And then the joke. It goes, why aren't there any jokes about Jim Jones?
Why?
Because the punchline is too long.
Wow.
What the fuck?
It's a pretty good joke. I won't lie.
It is a good joke, but it's a really fucked up
I saw
joke.
Halloween costume ideas today and someone put Jim Jones and the Kool-Aid Man.
What the
fuck? And I was like, that
fuck?
one's pretty fucking funny. I won't lie. So, good stuff. Thank you for sending that in.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I really like that. And I'm pretty sure they're watching right now. I look over and I see Turn the Page in our Twitch chat says, this is me. I just told him I had to dump him. That's hilarious.
Oh my God.
I didn't say dump. I just said banish to the couch because if you're waking up in the middle of the night saying that shit, I think that goes for both parties. You shouldn't be laying next to someone. It's potentially dangerous. All right. So I'm going to move on to my second email of the show. And this one's subject is homegrown horror - spooky childhood experiences.
Okay.
Starts out like this. Hey,
digging
guys.
Hey.
Hey, I was waiting for you to say hey. You can share these on the podcast. Good spot to put that. Appreciate it. My name is Addie, and I am from Swanton, Ohio. Just so you know, Robin's basically going to say you're from Utah because she gets Utah and Ohio mixed up literally all the time. Don't know how. I don't know how you mix up those two states. It's really weird.
Yeah, it's just something my brain does to me. I always mix them up. And for the longest time, I thought my friend was from Utah, and she wasn't from Utah. She's from Ohio. It's just this weird thing.
And it's even more confusing because her sister's from Utah. So her sister lived in Utah and then moved down here. So it's just...
my brain doesn't work.
She never gets it right, but that's not her fault. It's okay. Swanton, Ohio is a small town surrounded by even smaller towns in northwest Ohio. I grew up in the same house that my grandma grew up in, and while she has never mentioned having any weird experiences, I have had multiple. I'll put each story into a different paragraph.
Cool.
When I was really little, probably around 2 or 3, my mom says that I would talk about seeing a white boy and a white man outside, assuming white as in ghost, as I probably didn't understand the concept of race at that age. I would tell my mom that these two people were getting into her car. Obviously, my mom never saw anything. I credit this next experience to the fact that kids are weird as shit, and I especially had an interesting imagination. I was probably around the same age as when I saw the white boy and the white man. Apparently, when my parents would ask me a question or talk to me, for example, hey, Addie, what do you want to eat for breakfast? I would look up at them blank-faced through barely open eyes and say, I'm not Addie, I'm Becca. I put that voice in there.
That'd be fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it'd be creepy too. At the time, I think this freaked my mom out quite a bit, and she says she thought I was possessed. I'm sure she related this to Danny and his friend, Tony, from The Shining. I obviously don't remember any of this. It's kind of a funny thing we laugh about now. That's pretty creepy. I'm glad you've gotten to the point where you can laugh about it with your parents, because I'm pretty sure a lot of parents would just be like, adoption for this one. My great-grandmother lived in my house before my parents moved in. She passed away when I was a baby, but I think she comes back to visit from time to time. My mom says she can still smell my great-grandma's perfume in the bathroom sometimes.
That's really cool.
Yeah. It's weird that it's in the bathroom, though. It's like, great-grandma, I'm pooping. Please get out.
Shut up.
She's like the best air freshener, though.
What the...
Other times, I or another family member have come home to the smell of a holiday dinner being prepared, even though it was not a holiday and no one else was home or cooking anything. So I am right. She's the best air freshener because that's awesome. And all those scents like attached to memories for so many people, you know? Mm-hmm. I have so many scary stories, but I thought it would be easier to send these more lighthearted ones in a separate email. I love the podcast. Even though I get spooked when I'm listening while home alone, I enjoy listening at work to make the day go by faster. Keep it up, guys. Addie.
Thank you so much, Addie.
Thank you for sending that, Addie. Or Becca, whatever your real name is. But yeah, I think a lot of these things get chalked up to kids are fucking creepy and they say really creepy stuff sometimes.
They do.
So just keep track of them. Write them into us because they're absolutely hilarious. And I'm just really glad that it's not happening to me because it would probably terrify the shit out of me. So thank you.
All right. So my second email is from Izzy and it goes... I have a story to share, and it definitely can be read on the podcast. Thank you. Sorry in advance if the punctuation's all over the place. You're fine. This happened when I was in 8th grade. I was about 14 or 15 years old. Mind you, the 8th grade floor was in the basement of the building. Sorry, Robin.
Ooh, snap.
Why do they have any classrooms in the basement? Isn't that just where the caretaker keeps his shit?
I will say, like, my high school, when I was when I was in elementary/middle school, we had the high school attached to it as well. It was this giant building. It was 2 stories, but, like, there were a few rooms where, like, this was the high school on one side, this was the elementary/middle school on the other side, and in between, like, you would walk down this, like, narrow hallway that would, like, lead you down. So it was technically a basement, but they didn't have staircases to it, and that's where, like, the music room was, the art room was, we had a small gym down there, and then to get to, like, the high school side of things, you'd, like, walk up the slope, and then there was also a staircase that would take you to more high school stuff. The upstairs, the second floor, like, wound up getting condemned, and then we wound up using the middle school side as high school stuff for, like, 1 year. That was when my brother was in high school, and then finally they were like, we have to build a new fucking high school.
How did they condemn just the second floor?
Because it was fucked. Like, and they wound up, like, not letting us use, like, that part of the school for a long time. So when I was in 8th grade taking, like, finals and shit, there was construction going on all over my school, and it was just tons of noise. And I was like, I don't know how I'm going to pass any of this shit. It was so stressful. But like the new high school opened up like I think the year my brother was a senior. So he got to be like the first class that graduated from our new high school. He was also year 2000. Fuck that guy. He had everything. It's not fair. Sorry, I don't know how I made this about me, but I did. Let's get back to that.
Anyway. So now there was a rumor that the bathroom on that floor was haunted, and to be quite honest, I wasn't believing any of the rumors. While in class, I asked to go to the bathroom. I mean, when you gotta go, you gotta go. I got permission, and out the door I went. I walked down the hall to the bathroom, and as soon as I walked in, I noticed it was quiet. There was no one else there. I picked a stall and did my business. Now this is where it gets weird and scary. Mid-wipe, I heard the door to one of the stalls open. I decided to bend more to see if anyone else had come in, and there was no one in that bathroom but me. Ugh, nope. I always... Being alone in bathrooms freaks me out, so I run out as fast as I can.
I'm relieved because honestly, like, I feel pressure to poop faster if someone else is in the stall because I feel like they're judging how long I'm taking.
Yeah.
So, like, if I'm in the bathroom alone, I'm like, take your time. Like, read some news on your phone. Like, take a load off and take a load out. But if I, like, go into a bathroom and there's only one stall available, I'm like, God damn it. Like, I need to hurry up. Like, people are going to be like, wow, he spends all day in the fucking bathroom. But it's not like they know my shoes or whatever, but I just get paranoid like that. I don't get paranoid about, like, ghost shit. I get paranoid about other people's judgment in the bathroom. I prefer for it to be alone.
The door then slammed loudly, and I pulled up my underwear and pants up all at once, flushed, and noped the fuck out of there. That was honestly the first time I've ever experienced anything like that, and I will say I did wash my hands on another floor. Izzy.
Wow.
That's it's pretty relatable, because I would totally freak out and run. I've never checked. If I heard a bathroom stall open, I never check to see if there's another person that's come in there because I try to get out of there as fast as I can. Sometimes I'll skip looking at the mirror. I'll look down, wash my hands, don't ever look up at the mirror, and then run out because I don't want to see anything. What
I do is I go into the bathroom, find an empty stall. If there's two stalls, okay, let me rephrase this. If there's a handicap stall and that's the only one that's free and there's another floor I can go to, I go to the other floor. Everyone else I work with just goes into the handicap stall, and we have multiple handicap people that need to use that stall on my floor. And I'm like, you're a fucking asshole. I think it every time they do that. But yeah, I go in, I do my business, I look in the mirror while I wash my hands to check out my sweet fucking mustache, wash my hands and leave. And before I leave, I peek in the mirror one more time to check out my sweet fucking mustache. It's fun. You run your hands through it.
Are you going to post a picture of your mustache or something?
When the show is over, we're posting it to Instagram so everyone can see it. So if you're listening and you didn't watch us live, it'll still be on Instagram. It's going to exist out there forever, and you can see my sweet fucking mustache.
All right.
All right, I'm going to move on to my third email of the show, and this one's subject is pretty good. It's chased out of McDonald's by a tweaker, can share on pod. You would have what?
Freaked out if it had something to do with mannequins.
That would have been pretty funny, though. Even though the people that are listening right now and are not watching live have no idea what you're referencing. This is why you should watch the live shows. She's afraid of mannequins.
I'm afraid of mannequins. Like that first episode of the new seasons of Doctor Who where it's all about the mannequins. One? Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, man.
You were like, I got to watch this show. It's so terrifying. And I was like, this is the stupidest shit I've ever seen. Mannequins come to life. All right. We're starting this. So, this homegrown horror starts out like this. Hello, Robin, Adam, and Spooky Mom.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you for including Spooky Mom. So, I'm a Vegas listener, and I was chilling at one of our local McDonald's with some friends since we went to First Friday, and we were hungry after. Then, the craziest and most terrifying thing happened to me tonight. Okay, so for reference, it's like 11 p.m. when this all started to happen, and we left around 11:25-ish. Everyone I was with, including myself, it was 3 females and 1 male. So to get to the story, this man was tweaking hard at McDonald's we were at. Like tweaking, talking to himself, kept staring at us. It was insane. And he kept walking in and out of the place while staring at us.
That's creepy.
He's walking in, he will sit down, stare for like 5 minutes, then slowly walk out again. He'd also stare at us as he passed the windows.
What?
It was nightmare type stuff.
I would fear for my safety.
Yeah.
That'd be so scary.
The first thing that would come to my head if this show was happening is like, am I going to have to fight a fucking tweaker tonight because I went to the wrong McDonald's? And I hate that shit. By the 3rd time he walked in, I was like, guys, we need to go because I wasn't sure if he had a weapon. I thought I low-key saw a gun chilling on the table, but wasn't sure. And I'm not here to mess around with that. He also kept his hand in his pocket like he was holding something. Yeah, that's just not. Regardless of what he's holding, you don't want to be around for that.
I was going to say, sometimes it's just his dingle-donger.
I thought dick. Yeah, the first place my head went to is dingle-donger too. So anyway, we get up to leave and I throw out our trash and this man stood up again, which broke his pattern because he just walked back in and barely sat down when we got up. In all caps, this man followed us outside and was walking towards us after we went outside. We were walking to the car at this point, so we took off running and he started running too.
What the hell?
Keep in mind, I'm the driver, so I'm fumbling with the keys trying to unlock the car while this dude that is clearly off his rocker is coming at us.
Oh my God.
We finally made it inside the car and took off. It was the most terrifying thing that's happened to me.
Did they look in the rearview mirror? What was he doing?
I don't know. She didn't mention it. It's not in here, so I don't know. It goes on to say, so this freaked me out so bad and had all my friends and I shaken up. I ended up driving everyone home and we all were really grateful we got out okay. This is one of my biggest fears come to life. Anyways, thanks for reading. Hopefully it wasn't too long. I've got tons of stories for all that I'll send at one point. Keep on creeping on and stay safe when going out for a night. Rory. Well, I will say two things. One, it's kind of cool that this story didn't have anything paranormal in it because just because our podcast is named Scarish doesn't mean it always has to be about scary stuff. I'll actually say three things. The second one is now shout out to Academy Dog who just resubscribed on Amazon Prime.
Thank you.
Twitch Prime with their Amazon Prime subscription for the second month. The third thing is now, if that's the scariest thing that's ever happened to you, I'm not saying it's not scary, but let's hope that stays the scariest thing that ever happened to you. You know what I mean? Because it's like, that means you're not going to run into any paranormal shit. You won't actually get mugged, because it's way different when someone's putting a gun or a knife directly in your face, and you're not like, is that dude jerking off looking at me as you're funneling a gun looking at me? Because, like, not saying that's not scary, but, like, let's hope you keep it at the speculation level and not the, so this is what actually happened to me level. You know what I mean? Being chased, though, it's fucked up. Like, fight or flight instinct kicks in. There's 4 of you. There's 1 of him. You could beat the shit out of this dude if you wanted to. But if he has a weapon, it's just not worth it.
But 4, even if there's 4 and then there's 1 just really crazy dude, that crazy dude has no qualms about fucking your shit up.
Crazy people have really high strength because they're not holding back. You know what I mean? Even when you're defending yourself, you're kind of holding back.
Also, they could be on that PCP or something.
That PCP, she says, like she's from the movie fucking Trading Places.
What?
He gets arrested for having PCP.
No way.
Oh my God.
Really?
You fucking suck at this.
Oh, wow. Okay.
How do you not know Trading Places?
I know what it is. I've never seen
Angel
it.
dust. You ever see what this does to kids? It's fucking Frank Oz is the cop that's arresting him.
Who's Frank Oz?
The voice of fucking Yoda? Are you shitting me? Oh my God. We have to work some shit out here in this break. I'm just going to make this Panda White. Ignore the noises of me being beaten up because I would just get my ass kicked here. All right.
This next email is titled Scary Bartending Stories. I'm sure they're... Every shift as a bartender is scary.
Honestly, like if you want some stories about really stupid or creepy people, talk to a bartender because they have to put up with so much shit. And then the people get drunk. Or they're already drunk and they have to put up with them, which sucks.
So it goes. Hey, Adam and Grace.
Wow. Hey.
Hello.
What up? Thank you for getting my name right.
My name is Ashley. I'm from a small town in Ohio called Oberlin. And I found your podcast on Spotify like 3 weeks ago. And I've been listening nonstop.
Shout out Spotify.
Was that other email tonight from Oberlin too?
No, it was from Ohio, but it wasn't from Oberlin.
Okay.
I can check and make sure, but keep going.
All right. So I have 2 stories that you can share if you like. This has happened at the same time and place, and it didn't help that the owner of this bar died of a heart attack in his office.
Swanton, Ohio was the other one. Maybe they're by each other.
Maybe.
However,
I have no idea.
It's really not great when someone dies in a place that you have to work because you're just like sad, one, and then creeped out every now and then.
Because you're always going to think like, oh, is that the spirit of so-and-so that just died?
Right.
Also, it is rumored that they built the building on an Indian burial ground. How
That's
rude.
A rumor for everywhere back in the Midwest, I swear. And it's mainly because that entire area is basically an Indian burial ground because it was all inhabited by Native Americans.
I've been watching Longmire, and it's just, it seems to happen a lot in that show. With the Indian burial ground.
Does it?
It's happened more than once. So
how many episodes have you watched? Let's establish whether or not this is a lot.
I think I'm in the 2nd season.
Okay, that is a lot.
So, first story, I was bartending earlier in the day for a college game, and later on that day, the professional team had a game. So toward the end of the night, we used up all the liquor we had at the downstairs bar. So the other bartender and I started to stock the downstairs bar for the next bartender coming in. Now it was pitch black upstairs, and the only light upstairs was from the red exit sign. So there really wasn't any light because all you're seeing is the fucking sign that says exit.
Just the red light illuminating everything, which, you know what? Red light's probably not the most comforting light to be illuminating literally anything.
Yeah, that's why on planes and stuff, I don't know. Imagine you're on that plane where you have to actually follow the exit signs. You're like, oh,
Right.
dear God, this does not look good.
Here's the thing. Red light illuminating stuff is the second worst. The first worst is orange flashing lights where there is a female voice counting down before something self-destructs, like in Alien and Aliens, because that shit was so scary to me when I was growing up. I was like, how could you even concentrate and not be freaking the fuck out that you have to get to a spaceship to escape before, like, the countdown ends? I don't know. That's just me. That's what, like, my dreams still have in it, too. Like, flashing orange lights in corridors. No joke.
To be fair.
Don't do that. Don't try and work in Letterkenny references unless you actually are going to follow up your reference with a sentence.
To be fair, red lights probably get the most attention, where you see that red light if you need to exit and you're just like, I need to follow that to get out of here.
But you know, you don't have to put on the red light. Roxanne.
Anyway, I am afraid of the dark, like super scared. So I'm just rushing and grabbing bottles because I know the history of the owner dying, not even 50 feet away from the upstairs bar. As I'm walking downstairs, aka running downstairs, I hear other footsteps.
That's
like
creepy as
someone
shit.
trying to race me downstairs.
Or chase you downstairs.
The other bartender was downstairs setting up, so I know it wasn't her. I looked so spooked out that she asked me what was wrong, and I told her that I was not going back upstairs, and you couldn't pay me to either. Yeah, no.
I wouldn't go back upstairs.
Nope.
I wouldn't have told her something creepy happened. I'd been like, you go upstairs to see if it happened to them too.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's using them as a guinea pig, but you know what? Then you can confirm some stuff, so.
That's scary. By yourself, dark, all you see is an exit sign. You know, it just would be so scary to hear a second set of footsteps.
Yeah.
All right, second story. I was again bartending another college tailgate at this bar, and this time I was cleaning up and putting everything away. The new owner's son was watching the game on the big TV above the bar. I was putting up the stools on the bar because I was done wiping the bar off. I was not in a rush, so I made sure the stools were balanced and not on the edge of the bar. As I was finishing up, 3 of the bar stools just knocked over as if someone pushed them over with such force. I turned around to look at my boss's son, and his eyes were so wide. I didn't even close up properly. I just turned the TVs off and we noped the fuck out. I have another story about a guy I dated and his fucking succubus. I'll share another time.
Wow.
Keep on creeping on, Ashley. Thank you so much for those stories. I hear about a lot of haunted bars and strange things happening in bars, lights moving and turning on and off and stuff like that, different haunted places.
I'm always fairly dubious if they come from, like, patrons of the bar, because I'm like, you're drunk, you know what I mean? But if it's coming from, like, staff, then I get a little bit creeped out by it. And, like, 3 stools flying off that like that is definitely really, really creepy.
Yeah.
So thank you for sending that in, Ashley. That was really good.
Thank you so much. Please send us that story about the succubus.
Yeah, when you said succubus, my first instinct was like, you mean his ex, right? Like, I didn't think of anything else but an ex-girlfriend. So, right on. I'm going to move on into my 4th and my final email of the show, and this one's subject is a spooky dream. And it starts out like this. Hi. Hi. My name is Eva. I recently found your podcast about a week ago on the Podcasts app. I just finished episode 16, so I'm not that far yet. It's H-E-H-E, so I had to read it like
sound
that.
effects.
Hopefully you're still doing the Storytime episodes, or else this would be super awkward. Anyways, I'll share a sort of spooky dream I had. Feel free to share it on the podcast if you'd like. When I was around 10 years old, I started consistently having dreams about being in a dark basement sort of place with a weird guy. He was pretty short, had an abnormally wide head, and a large grin on his face that looked forced and strained. His eyes were wide and huge. They practically bulged out of his head. In my dreams, he always appeared to be crying. Every night, the same scenario repeated. I would ask him questions like, "Who are you and what do you want from me?" But every time I talked, his crying would just grow louder.
Wow.
I would scream and plead for him to leave me alone until I would eventually wake up in a cold sweat, shaking violently. This one's so well written and so well descriptive. I'm like, I feel like I should check to see if this is a creepypasta just because we've been fooled before. If it's not, you're doing a really great job of describing your dream. I just wanted to toss that out there. Not trying to be an asshole about it. It's good. All right, this went on for a month, and in that month, I got hardly any sleep since I didn't want to experience that horrible dream. One night, the scenario changed. This time, there were more people, which all looked horrific. Their faces were distorted and just flat out scary. They were all wailing and crying. This time, I was aware that it was a dream, though. I wasn't panicking and frightened like how I was in all the other dreams. The first thing I thought of was to find a light switch so I wouldn't be stuck in the dark. Luckily for me, I found a light switch and switched it on. And there was a staircase. I climbed up the staircase, the strange beings following close behind me. Atop of the staircase, there was a sort of door which I opened. On the other side of the door, it was bright and sunny, and there was a cloud-like field. Like the field was made out of colorful clouds, if that makes sense, and when the strange beings stepped out into the sunlight, they were completely transformed. Instead of being these terrifyingly deformed creatures, they were just small, innocent children around 3 or 5. Not 4, though. Definitely not 4.
Okay.
They then all went and played in the cloud. I said the 4 thing. It's not
Yeah.
me. They then all went and played in the cloud field together, and the smiling and crying guy from before looked like a normal kid like all the others. He hugged me and said, "Thank you," and ran off to play with the others. After that, I woke up, and that was the last time I'd ever had a dream like that. I still have no idea what to make of that dream or how to interpret it. It very well could have just been my childish imagination being creative and whatnot, but I figured I might as well share it with you since it was very strange and overall creepy. I hope you enjoyed reading it, and I hope it wasn't too boring. Haha. Let me know if you'd like to hear more scary stories from me. Haha. Smiley face. I definitely would. That was excellent. That was very well written, too.
Yeah.
So thank you for sending that.
What's impressive about dreams is that you can remember all those details.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to do because I know I've had amazing dreams before where I wake up and I wish I could remember what they were, and I can't. Nightmares, though, you remember that shit.
Yeah,
sure.
you really do. I was
Isn't
about to say
that
the
horrible?
same thing. It's like there's so many dreams where like just random stuff happens, and then you try and tell people the details, and you just sound crazy because you can't remember anything, or it's just random stuff that you can't piece together because dreams are like that. But if it's a nightmare, you remember everything in excruciating detail, and you just hope that you don't dream it again.
Yeah.
So this is one of those things where you dreamt it enough where you finally got free. And it's funny because like I've talked about my recurring dream from when I was a kid where I was like running up a staircase to get away from Freddy Krueger because he's my fucking childhood boogeyman. And it happened to me for like 2 years. Same dream every night for like 2 years until finally I was running up and my brother was running up. And my brother would just run into my parents' bedroom and leave me behind on the stairs because I'd become paralyzed and I couldn't move, and I'd hear him coming up the stairs for me, and right when he gets to me, I'd wake up every fucking night. And then one night in my dream, my brother turned around and picked me up and dragged me into my parents' bedroom, and I never had the dream again after that.
That's
and
cool. So your brother's like your hero in your dream.
Yeah, no, like in a lot of places in my life, he has been, and it's weird that there's always this sort of like transition where you push past a barrier in a recurring dream, and then it either goes away or it just changes. So they definitely are fascinating to me.
I had a horrible, horrible dream the other night, like 2 nights ago. It was terrifying. To me, it might not be scary to other people, but it was one of those dreams where you wake up in a room and it's not where you normally sleep. It was like a hotel room. And I'm laying there and I'm looking up at the ceiling, and then I look to the side and there's like a maid or something pushing in. And the room is dark, right? I'm supposed to be sleeping. It's dark in the room. The lights are all off. There's no source of light, maybe a clock or something showing a little tiny light. And like the maid or something is pushing a cart into the hotel room up to the bed. So all I see is this cart coming in with like the head, like the top half of someone's body behind it, right? Coming closer and closer and closer. And the closer she gets, I start seeing her face. And she has the creepiest face, and the closer she's getting, she's just saying murder, murder, murder over and over and over again. Not in a funny way. It was terrifying. And then she like leaned to the side of the cart in an unnatural 90-degree angle, right? And then is leaning closer or coming closer and closer and closer to my face at this angle that is not at all natural. And then she gets super close to my face, and I have my hands out trying to stop her, and I'm like leaning back trying to wake Adam up in my dream, and nothing's coming out of my mouth, right? Because that's what happens in nightmares where you just can't talk. And then she's putting my fingers in her mouth, and it got really weird. And as soon as that happened, I woke up because a little tiny sound came out of my throat, and I finally fucking woke up, and I'm looking around the bedroom like, dear God.
And then...
Oh, my gosh.
And then she woke me up because she was scared.
Oh, no, I was awake already, but then...
You just said you were dreaming.
No, I was dreaming. I woke up and I was laying there for a while. I didn't wake you up right away.
But you eventually woke me up.
You woke up and you had to pee. So I was like, can I please go pee with you?
You woke me up, told me about the dream. And I was like, everything's okay. And I was like, it's okay. And I like tried to hold her to tell her everything's okay. And because I was just woken up, almost as soon as like we got comfortable, I was like, I am going to piss my pants. So I was like, I really, really have to pee. Is that okay? And she goes, can I come with you? And that's how I know it was legit a scary dream, because she came into the bathroom with me. And I usually pee in the dark. I usually just walk in there in the dark, aim, hope, and pray, and then I go back to bed because I don't want to like turn on the light and then can't see my way back. And then if someone comes at me in the dark, I want to have my night vision prepared. But we went in the bathroom. I was like, you should probably turn on the light. She's not going to be okay being in the dark in here. And I was just like, yeah she was really scared.
I had to pee really bad. I just didn't want to go by myself.
Right on. Good stuff.
Yeah.
So fun times.
The final email of the show that I'm going to read tonight is titled Share on Podcast, which is great. It goes, hi, Adam and Robin.
Hello.
Hello.
Wait, howdy, partner.
Oh my gosh.
This is the last email I'll probably read with this stupid mustache on my face.
This is, it's also from Wilmer. That's who sent it in. So it goes, I've been listening to your podcast for almost a year now, and I must say that I love it. It is the very first podcast I ever listened to. And now I listen to JRE as well. I don't know what JRE is. JRE.
Adventure Zone, I'm pretty sure is what that stands for.
I'm also all caught up with all the episodes and decided to go back and listen to my favorite one about the Mothman and also the first one about sleepwalking.
I really like both of those episodes.
While listening to the sleepwalking one, it reminded me of a funny sleepwalk/talking experience my younger brother had. So we had been living at our house at this point for about 4 years now, and it was summer. Normally, our parents would make us go to sleep at 9 p.m. every night, but during summer, they would just let us go to sleep at whatever time we wanted.
Nice.
So
summer was the best.
Yeah, it was all right.
You didn't like summer?
I went to summer school.
Wow. It sucks.
I think there were 1 or 2 years where we went to summer pals, where it was supposed to be fun. And then I went to summer school for fun for 1 year. So I just really didn't.
I had sleepovers and teepeed houses with my friends for fun.
Yeah, no, not for me. Yeah. Lucky dogs. During summer, we'd sleep whenever we want. Most nights, I would stay up until 1 or 2 in the morning watching TV, and my younger brother, by 4 years, decided to stay up with me one night. Normally, I would send him to sleep earlier than me since he would get scared at that time, but this time he fell asleep on the couch. It was a bit past midnight and I was watching George Lopez's show. And when it was over, I told my brother to get up and go to the bed since I was going to do the same. It took me about 3 tries to get him to even wake up from the sofa, and when he did, he just sat at the edge and said nothing. I asked him if he was going to stay longer, and he didn't respond, and since he was acting weird, I decided to be an asshole and turn off the lights.
Wow.
But the instant I did that, he got up and made his way to the kitchen. As he did this, I stood still in the dark, wondering what he was up to, when suddenly I heard a stream of what sounded like water being dropped into the trash can. For some reason, I instantly knew what he was doing.
He was peeing in the garbage, wasn't he?
So I immediately ran back to the kitchen to turn on the light and saw him taking a piss in the trash can.
Called it.
I couldn't help it, so I started laughing and tried to call to him again, but he didn't respond. After that, he went straight into our room that we share. I followed after him, and as I did, he closed the door behind him.
I will say one thing, and I think about this a lot. So when you are a kid, you have sleepwalking experiences, and people tell you you'll grow out of it. And a lot of times people do. But then when people get older, they start drinking. And I have friends who have done stupid shit when they're drunk. And I'm like, I wonder if they would have done that anyways. You know what? Like, if it was their sleepwalking experience that took over and it just happened to be the fact that they were intoxicated also. Because I have a friend who was living with his parents at the time, and it's a very similar situation. He got up. He doesn't remember it. He got up in the middle of the night. He walked into his parents' room. He opened his mother's closet, and he peed right on her shoes. And they were just screaming at him the whole time, but it was not going to stop. It just happened. And I'm like, I don't know if that was because you were drunk. It was because you were sleepwalking, because people do crazy shit when they sleepwalk.
That's really in-depth, going into your mom's closet to pee on her shoes.
I mean, this guy got up, went into the kitchen, opened the trash can, and pissed in the trash can. And it reminds me a lot of that.
That's rough.
Yeah.
I would be pissed.
Literally. Nailed that joke.
Okay. All right, so He closed the door. I tried to stop him from closing the door, but instead he started smashing my hand repeatedly with the door.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Not holding back.
I told him the next morning and he thought I was BSing. Not too long after that, he said he woke up in the corner of the walkway to our room peeing. What the fuck?
It's like your body's trying to handle your bodily functions, but it's like not processing well enough. It's like, I'm just going to move to another part of the house and either pee in something or pee all over myself.
He normally sleep talks, and I haven't been able to catch him ever. I have a few more stories. Some are scary and some are weird, but I'll send those at a different time. By the way, the Mothman episode creeps me the hell out. Hopefully this makes it onto the podcast. See you there, spooky friends. Thank you so much.
I'm very glad that Mothman episode creeped you out.
That's a really good story, though. Like
they're all, yeah. We've had some solid stories tonight. That one's really good.
I've heard you tell me stories where people just peed all over the couch, like stood up and just peed on the couch for whatever fucking reason.
There's a lot of stories I have about drinking and people pissing.
Sleepwalking, and yeah, it's...
Let me just run through a couple of these pissing stories really fast, because I feel like you can't say that and then not talk about it. I had a friend who once got up when he was drunk. He was sleeping in someone's living room. He got up, removed the cushion from the couch, and instead of having like the normal stuff that's where the couch is, there was like a hole in the couch because it was a really old shitty couch, and he pissed into the hole like it was a toilet and onto the floor, and they didn't discover it until the morning. I have another friend who was spooning his significant other, and he peed the bed, so he basically peed on his significant other. And like I woke up in the morning and I was staying at the same place, and his significant other had taken my keys from me to make sure I didn't drive, which we did quite a bit. And I went to the room where they were staying, and I was like looking for my keys, and I was just like, oh, well, like she's not here. And then my friend woke up and he's like, oh, your keys are right there. I was like, okay, cool, thanks, dude. And I was like, where did she go? He's like, oh, she was so mad at me. I pissed the bed last night and I pissed all over her. And I was like, oh, that sucks. He's like, yeah. And I was like, so I left, and as I'm like walking down the stairs, I was like texting everyone, all of our friends, so they could all find out about this. And like I got to the driveway. It was like 30 seconds since I left him. And he called me, he was like, hey man, can we just keep that between us? I was like, bro, I'm sorry. It is way too late for that. Like, you should have told me that before I left the room. But I think there's another one too.
Didn't you pee on someone's bed and then blame the dog?
That had nothing to do with drinking, though. That was 8th grade and social survival skills. Yeah, I was like, I'm blaming this fucking dog for this. I'm not taking this fucking heat. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that happens. Not all of it involves sleepwalking, but I really feel like when you drink, it triggers the same thing that triggers sleepwalking in you, where you just wind up doing something stupid or silly, or it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And that happens when you like go unconscious. All of a sudden, like your body just takes over, and it's like, yep, I'm just gonna do this now.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. So thank you to everyone who sent a story in. We sincerely appreciate when you share stuff like that with us, because they've all been really, really funny. And it's always just a good time to record these episodes. If you have a story you'd like to share, please email storytime@scarish.com or go to our website, scarish.com. A clown was about to come out of my mouth. Scarish.com, and click on Contact Us.
Imagine if a clown actually came out of your mouth, like the fingers just came up and just like...
Robin's just giving me nightmare fuel. Scarish.com, click on Contact Us, fill out that form. It comes directly to us, or hit us up on any of our social medias. Facebook is facebook.com/scarishpodcast. Instagram is @scarishpodcast, and Twitter is @scarishpod. We'd love to hear from you. Robin, for those folks who would like to donate to us, how can they do so?
If you folks would like to help support us and donate to us, you can go over to patreon.com/scaryishpodcast, and those are monthly donations. We have a whole bunch of different tiers. I just uploaded like a little sneak peek to a design that I am working on, and hopefully we'll finish soon, and then I'm starting the Christmas designs, so that'll be fun. So head on over there, check stuff out. And then you can go to ko-fi.com/scarishpodcast. And those are one-time donations that help us upgrade our studio setup. We were able to order our computer.
It all came in today, too. I get to start constructing this thing. I am so excited.
So thank you to everybody for donating, because you helped it happen. And now we're able to put this thing together and run things a lot smoother. And it's all thanks to you.
Start streaming more, in fact, which I am very, very excited for. And like Robin said, it is all thanks to you. Literally all of it. Storytime episodes don't exist without you. We probably wouldn't keep going if people weren't listening. So we appreciate every single one of you. So
please send in your Storytime episodes. We actually got one.
Send in your homegrown horrors.
I mean,
if you're recording your own Storytime episodes and you want to send those in, we'll probably listen to them.
Send in your homegrown horrors. We actually got one while we're sitting here recording, which is great. But we always need more. So Send those in for us.
Send them in.
Where can they send it to us?
I've already gone over that.
Oh, okay.
They already know that. Storytimeatscarish.com and all those other places as well. So that's just about everything we have for you folks tonight. So Robin, go ahead and send us out.
Keep on creeping on, and we'll talk to you guys later.
Bye-bye.